Good morning, everyone. This is Elise Adams here with episode 4, I think. Episode 4 of the Excuse Busters show. I am back on my normal commute and excited to be here with you today. As I was thinking and praying over what to share with you this morning, I'd like to bust open an excuse that is pretty personal. And it's let me share it with you from my perspective first, and then I'd like to sort of turn it around and shine a little bit of light onto maybe an excuse for you. So the first thing that comes up for me, and I know many of you can relate who are in the entrepreneurial pursuits, my favorite new description of my varied projects, this feeling that we have, that many of us have, that we're not qualified to do what we feel called to do. And so I've been thinking and praying about this over the last few days, and what God always brings to mind is the biggest excuse buster of this one for every one of us, and specifically for me in speaking to you about these topics. And that is, where have you come from? What do you have to share? What do I have to share based on where I've been and where I'm going? So the whole reason that I can stand in front of you and bust open some excuses with you is because I've busted open excuses in my own life. Many of you have heard parts of my story, and the big words kind of get generalized and we forget the personal reality of it. But I want to share just a minute of it for you. Just over 6 years ago, my daughter's turning 7 in August. Just over 6 years ago, I spent almost 4 years, 3.5 years, homeless. I was in an abusive relationship. I had pretty much given up on real life. I figured that I was just going to live on the bottom of society, and if I survived, I survived, and if I didn't, I didn't. I was incredibly full of despair, depression, mental illness. I was stuck. I was completely stuck and trapped. And I had gotten stuck and trapped through a bunch of lies. A bunch of lies I told myself, a bunch of lies that were told to me, a bunch of things I just accepted. And so coming to you with this idea of busting open excuses is so important to me, because it was as God got into my life, I let him back into my life, that was very key. As God got into my life and started moving, started shaking stuff up, started opening doors, every one of those lies, excuses, had to be busted apart. And for many of us now, I'm probably not talking to you in a situation where you are, in a deathly life and death struggle. Maybe you are, and I still want to talk to you. But I also want to talk to you if you are in those fuzzy gray areas. And sometimes it's harder, I think, to bust open excuses when it's not life and death. We can't point to something and say, if I go down that road, I'm going to die, and if I go down that road, I'm going to live. But I believe, based on my experience, strength, and hope that I get to share with you every day, I believe that it is life and death, even when we don't think it is. So back to today's excuse, because I can get way out of track on that one. That's one of my favorite topics. Back to today's excuse that I'm busting wide open. Why am I here? Why should you listen to me? Why should I talk to you? Who am I? Who am I to have something to say about this? And the reason I have something to say about this is I was once stuck, and I'm not today. I was once trapped, and I'm not today. I was once completely financially destitute. We're talking destitute. We're talking on Social Security disability for over a decade, people. Something I haven't always shared. But you know what? I'm proud of it. Not of that. I'm proud of having come out of that. I'm proud of having walked through the doors that God opened. And that is really what this Excuse Busters show is all about. This is about me shining a spotlight right on those doors that I believe God wants to open for you too. And that's why I have the right to talk to you. And that's the excuse buster for you too, turning it around. Not only do I have the obligation, it's not even the right, I have the obligation to share where I've come from and how I've come to here and how we're going forward together to bigger and better things, I also have the credibility for you to listen to me. Because when you walk up to down a hallway and you see closed door, closed door, closed door, closed door, because you are so stuck in reasons. See, we tell ourselves that our excuses are really reasons why we can't. Friends, I'm here to tell you there is no such thing as can't. There's lots of choices that we have to face every single day. I face them too. I have faced the most scariest choices on the planet many times, unfortunately, because I'm a slow learner. And I have discovered that there is no such thing as can't. So since I've discovered that, that gives me the obligation to share that with you. And I pray that if you find me for a moment, or if you find me for a decade, because I'm going to be around here, God's got me on a solid road. I'm going to be here for you. Because God's here for me. And we're going places. And I pray that as He continues to break open my own excuses, because He is so working on me still, that you will stick around and allow some of your excuses to be busted apart too. Here is to a great day. Be blessed, be safe, and join me again tomorrow for another Excuse Buster show.